Weapons is the newest horror movie in the box office, made by Zach Cregger, the same person who made Barbarian, and he's now gone 2 for 2. Both of his movies, absolute bangers. But there's one thing about the movie I still don't understand, and that's the ending. I've now seen the movie twice, and I still don't get it. If you're not familiar with Weapons, the movie has to do with a classroom of children who randomly go missing at 2:17 in the morning. There's Ring doorbell footage of the kids running outside of their house in their pajamas, for seemingly no reason. And this is now your spoiler warning. If you have not seen the movie yet, click off of the video, because I don't want to ruin it for you. And for the first 45 minutes, you still have no idea what's going on with the kids. Nothing was explained until you hear about one specific woman, Aunt Gladys. Aunt Gladys comes into town, she's seemingly sick, and also the aunt of Alex, one of the children, the only child that didn't go missing at 2:17 in the morning. But who is Aunt Gladys and why is she important? Well, Aunt Gladys is a witch and asked Alex to do something for her that was massive. He was able to collect items from all of the children in his classroom, give it to her, and she was able to make some kind of witchy potion to put these kids under a spell, where she then hides them in the basement along with Alex's parents, who are eating cans of soup throughout the whole entire movie. But here's where the ending makes no sense to me. And we have to go back to when Aunt Gladys showed up. She was able to grab an item from each of the parents and get them under a spell, which happened to be part of a stick. And when she broke it, she was able to more or less control them. All fine and good. She then was able to get all of the items that Alex got for her from the kids in the classroom, put it inside of a petri dish, light it on fire, and those kids are now under the spell. But here's where I'm confused. At the end of the movie, Josh Brolin's character was technically under the spell. She was able to take off one of his chains, snap the branch, and he was now a part of it. But once Alex unwrapped the hair from it and snapped the branch again, he was back to normal. Perfectly fine and good, that makes sense. But then at the end of the movie, the kids end up ripping Aunt Gladys apart, which normally in a horror movie setting, once the person who cast the spell is dead, the spell should be broken. But that's not what happened. The kids were still technically under the spell, to a certain degree. They weren't able to talk. They were barely even able to walk. And Alex's parents were still technically under that spell at the end of the movie. And that's where I'm confused, but I do have a couple theories. Theory number 1, maybe they were under the spell for too long and it's going to take a little bit longer for that spell to wear off, which would kind of make sense. You then have theory number 2, which I don't know how that's possible. Because Aunt Gladys did that spell in that petri dish, would the spell then have to be recreated to release them from said spell? Because I guess if you put it that way, you would then have to get another witch to break that spell and hope that they don't put them under another spell. And my third theory pretty much leads back to the first theory. Maybe they just need a little bit more time to go back to normal. All in all, I've seen the movie twice and I think it's an absolute banger. I think he did everything that he needed to do in this movie to make it just as creepy as you thought it was. But I also think people don't have a general idea going into the movie what to expect. When I went in, I definitely didn't think it was going to be a witch. I thought maybe the house was going to be haunted or something like that. Not an actual witch in this movie. Also, I have a crazy theory that this movie is tied into Barbarian because, of course, Justin Long is in this movie and one of his kids happens to be a part of that spell, making me think that the Barbarian and Weapons timeline are all tied together and that Barbarian happens after the movie Weapons. But I'll have another video about that because this theory is kind of crazy and a little bit of a long shot, but in my eyes makes perfect sense. Now look, if you're not doing anything this week, I do suggest you go see Weapons if you haven't seen it yet because this movie is absolutely fantastic. It has a 95% Rotten Tomato score and I'm pretty sure it's about an 87 popcorn score, which means by the fans, it's an 87. Some of the highest rated horror movies we've seen this year. And there's talks that we're going to be getting a Weapons 2, which may explain the ending of the original movie a little bit better. But I hope you guys did enjoy today's video. If you did, don't forget to smack a like on it. That'd be greatly appreciated. Comment down below what else you guys want to see on the channel. And with all of that being said, guys, my name is Chris. And of course, I will catch you guys in the next one.